Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines, and most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And I say that before every single show. And what I mean by that is I only speak to transportation professionals because at the end of the day, I want to talk to the right individuals who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve. So you can take that information, apply it, utilize it, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. James Courier, what is up? Let's go. Over on YouTube, Dylan Turner, good morning. Let's go. And he says, thank you for all the time on these, man. I appreciate that, Dylan. Thank you so much. I just like coming live and talking about an industry that I love, man. I really do. I like fundamentally to my core, man, I just want to help people. I don't know everything, but I just like helping people out through my experiences and, you know, where I've fucked up and everything else, and try and help people avoid that. Corey Buchan, happy hump day. He's also over on YouTube. You guys, I'm making a big push. I'm just going to be blunt. I want to remove going live on LinkedIn and only go live on YouTube. So I'm making a big push to transition all of my viewers and followers on LinkedIn over to YouTube. Just look for the Freight Coach on there. I'm making this decision because I have been told by numerous people that the stream is exponentially better over on YouTube. And frankly, for some reason, LinkedIn does not like to notify anybody that I go live, and people have a very hard time finding my stream on LinkedIn for whatever reason. I'm assuming it's this thing behind me that they don't like showing up on their stream, but YouTube doesn't do that. So if you guys could please go over to my YouTube channel, The Freight Coach, if you want to see this stunning face every single day, go to YouTube, look for The Freight Coach on there, and subscribe to it on there, you guys, because from just everything that I've been told, the stream is exponentially better over on YouTube than it is on LinkedIn. And Flo, good morning. Happy Wednesday. And she says she tried it on YouTube with the thumbs up. Micah Campo, she will go that way now. Thank you, Micah. I appreciate that. But yeah, you guys, that's just what we're doing. It's just a lot better stream quality over there. So I'm slowly migrating to get it over there. And yeah, so that's what we are going to be doing here over the coming weeks out there. And now Micah is already over on YouTube. Let's go, Micah. I appreciate that. Let's get into a couple of things here. Sorry about yesterday, you guys. Like literally fucking 10 minutes before the show goes, my internet would not connect at all, and it just would not allow me to go live for whatever reason. But you know, things happen in the real world, you guys. Nothing's perfect, and you know, here we are. But we will get into some things right now. You guys, I did drop a newsletter. So I have a newsletter that drops every single Wednesday. I'm not going to auto sign anybody up for it because I truly believe in adding value through an organic reach. So if you guys want to subscribe to it, just go to thefreightcoach.com and register for it on there. We just released one this morning with Gabe Pankinen. And we were just talking about the LTL market and everything. So we're trying to kind of expand the media stuff. And as always, you guys, I just want to help provide additional insight through that. Steve Setka, what is up? He says, Jolly, make it happen. Every day is a hustle. Amen to that. Tony Darnell, get some. Hey, yo, he's coming in over on YouTube now. Sonny Sharma says he's going to head over to YouTube as well, also moving forward. I appreciate that, Sonny. Thank you. All right, you guys, now we got fuel. Fuel is up to $3.73 a gallon nationwide. I get all of that information, you guys, from the EIA, EIA.gov. It's RFP season out there right now for a bunch of shippers. I filled out like 3 in this past week alone, and fuel surcharge is a thing. And now a lot of RFP shippers, you guys, have their own fuel schedule. All right. So hypothetical example, They do a weekly fuel schedule. This week, it might be 50 cents. Next week, it might be 52 cents. And it's all based on the national average. And that gives you an idea, because if you're going in there and you're bidding on a quarterly basis, a biannual, or an annual basis, you need to know how fuel trends are, because if you're going to commit to long-term pricing in this market, or really in any market, you need to see how things are trending out there to get a better idea on how you can position yourselves with your bids. So it's a great resource, EIA.gov. I'm not a fan of the gov all that often, but they've, that's one that they can't really fuck with the data. We'll put it that way. Anyways, you guys, we are going to, before we break down a couple of headlines here, we're going to talk about freight theft, because that is, and this idea came up. So Kyle Provost and I, we co-founded Broker Carrier, and we are actually, so what we were going to do yesterday is we're going to teach people how to vet your carrier providers, and carriers, don't worry. We will have some shit out there to what to look out for brokers, because I equally want to bury all the shitbag brokers out there as well. So don't worry. It's not just going to be us bashing on this is what's wrong with carriers. On the contrary, this is going to help elevate you guys out there. But we were going to do that yesterday and then lead into today about freight theft. And but we're actually going to be doing that tomorrow with Kyle. He's going to come back on, and we're going to be talking about best practices out there. But freight theft, you guys, is something that is always going to be a problem. All right. Fundamentally, at the end of the day, criminals don't care about the law. I just hate to break it to people, but there's always some of these things out there, and an alarming trend that I see, because, obviously, you guys, I'm out there brokering every single day. We post loads on the load board. I see a lot of load postings that are out there because I want to see where my competition is at. I see an alarming trend of people posting the actual fucking commodity in the load posting. And my biggest piece of advice, if you don't want a giant target on your fucking back, remove that. Okay. Remove the commodity in there. Because at the end of the day, you guys, you're just making it easy for them to go in, and you wonder why people are taking loads for whatever fucking price out there. That's why, because that's probably their intention is to take the load. Now, that's not in every single situation, so I'm trying not to use blanket statements here. But if you're posting a commodity out there, stop immediately, especially if you have high street value stuff, bottled water, beverages, household goods, shit like that. That stuff's easy to fucking lift and sell on the street, you guys. So remove that from your load posting. That is literally the biggest freight theft tip I can give anybody. Unless you are literally hauling fucking recycled, bundled up trash, or that's an oxymoron, but you guys know what I mean. That's the only time I would say post your commodity in there, because I don't know who's stealing fucking recyclable plastics or trash and stuff like that. But again, I think it's a great habit to start right there. Remove the commodity from the load posting when you're talking to the driver. Put that in there. Obviously, if it's a hazmat load, post it as a hazmat and mark in there that it is hazmat or whatever that looks like. But stop putting a target on your back, you guys. I've been talking to people here recently, and ironically, the only times that people's loads have been stolen here in the last probably year, I'll put this data set out there for my own personal conversations, is when they were posting the commodity in the postings. Now, that's not every time, but again, stop doing that, you guys. Save that for the conversation when you're actually speaking with them out there. I think that's a great first step for a lot of you to do. Is to remove that out there. Jose Gonzalez, good morning to you, Jose. Thanks for tuning in, man. He's over on LinkedIn. But yeah, I think that's one of those big things, you guys, because as our country in commodity, like in the economy and everything continues to operate in the dumpster where it is. I mean, again, freight theft and theft is always a problem, like fucking no matter what. But especially right now, as times get tough out there, it's always an opportunity. Crisis is a great opportunity for chaos and stuff like that. So things are always exponentially increased, but especially right now, you guys, because it's the holidays, okay? July 4th weekend, massive freight theft time. Because again, you guys, look at it like this. The holiday literally starts next Wednesday, all right? Most people are going to shut down, take a half day on Wednesday the 3rd. They're going to be closed all day Friday the 4th or Thursday the 4th. realistically, they're going to all be closed on Friday the 5th too, or they're going to be a skeleton crew, maybe a half day there as well. So freight is going to be sitting for an extended period of time. So what are you going to do as a service provider next week? Are you going to be are you going to be finding out where the carrier is storing the freight? Is it going to be in a secure lot? Is it going to be at the driver's home? Again, take care of all of these things on the front end, you guys, because next week it's always an influx in freight theft and everything else out there. So pay attention to that, and then also pay attention to the headlines the middle of next month when everybody's starting to say, oh, spot market, there's life in the spot market, and there's tender rejections we're raising and everything. Is July the official recovery? Watch out for that, you guys, because that's just what the holiday does. So don't get any false hope out there. I've already put my bold prediction out there enough times, but again, so far it is ringing true. Rates are not decreasing. It's the ratchet up effect. And this 4th of July weekend that's coming up next week, rates are going to ratchet up again. They'll come back down a little bit. But again, the best way to describe it, if rates are at $2 a mile right now and they spike up to $2.15 a mile over the 4th of July, they will probably drop back down to like that 207 to 205 to 207 mark, but they won't drop all the way back down. That's the ratchet up effect that is going to happen. And then at some point in the next 12 months, everyone's going to say, holy shit, the market's recovered. Look what happened, blah, 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 blah. So, but rest assured, you guys, this is kind of normally how it goes out there. Carla Isted, good morning. She's over on LinkedIn as well. But let's get into some articles here, ladies and gentlemen. First article we are going to break down is from truckernews.com. And this was from a couple weeks back, but again, I was going to talk about this a little bit yesterday. The House committee approves $2 million for a new federal cargo theft task force. I thought that amount was funny because they've probably already spent that just on meetings to think about having a meeting to start this task force. So they've already probably blown through the budget. And then it goes that the American Trucking Association applauded the House Appropriations Committee for the fiscal year of 2025 Department of Homeland Security funding bill, which included a provision of investing, to establish a supply chain fraud and theft task force, as well as $2 million to fund the initiative. The report language was championed by David Vallado, from California, and will counter the sharp rise in cargo theft and broader supply chain fraud. The trucking industry takes great pride in delivering America's freight safely and on time. The billions of tons of goods transported by trucks to every American community has increasingly become a prime target for organized crime, putting truck drivers at risk and raising costs for consumers. The ATA commends the House Appropriations Committee and Congressman Vallado for directing Homeland Security investigations to leverage its unique cross-border authorities to address the alarming trend. The appropriations report language allocates $2 million for Homeland Security investigations, a subset of immigration and customs enforcement, to consult with state, local, and federal law enforcement agencies, as well as relevant private sector stakeholders to ensure the task force employs a coordinated multi-agency, intelligence-based, and prosecutor-led approach to identifying, disrupting, dismantling organizations primarily responsible for the theft and related violence of the American supply chain. And then it goes on to say, when I served in the Colorado State Patrol, cases of cargo theft were far less prevalent than they are today. Unfortunately, in recent years, organized theft groups have been systematically targeting our nation's supply chains and using increasing sophisticated techniques to steal cargo in transit, said Mark Savage, the chairman of the ATA Law Enforcement Advisory Board. And then it is already working with the trucking industry as well as the Cargo Theft Task Force in Florida and California Highway Patrol to help raise awareness. We support this provision out there. I think it's always good when these tasks, like when shit's actually addressed and taken care of. But again, I think that if you look at it from a state by state basis, a lot of these fucking criminals are just eventually, they're not even prosecuted, right? So it's like, I think that, getting tough on crime is something that actually needs to happen, because what stops somebody in say the state of California, all right? The state of California is notorious for just letting people fucking walk. and not even prosecuting individuals. So I think that fundamentally we have to look at it on a state by state level. And these people need to get very tough on crime, because why crime is a problem is most of them don't get fucking in any trouble for it, or very limited trouble at best, right? So I think that, again, maybe I'm just old school, but generally when you get punished for your actions, you tend to not make those actions anymore. At least most people. Some people are just idiots and they're going to continue to fucking, do stupid shit. But, I think that there needs to be a major fucking crackdown on this. And it's going to take a lot of work. Like I have some reports about a major crime ring that they busted here in Arizona. It's very fucking real. I've seen a lot of the information. I'm not going to cite my sources or anything like that, but there was a massive fucking crime ring busted here in Arizona, and there was a shitload of trucking companies and warehouses and everything that are in there, because it's like, at the end of the day, what happens is again, high theft stuff. And you could even say fucking Q-tips. A truckload of Q-tips is out there. So what happens is you guys is in the organized crime. They're in the trucking industry and everything else. They find out. And then I think it's more on the dock worker level than not. I think people just drop off. Like, I think it's just like old school mafia tactics that goes back, because they just drop off envelope of cash to a dock worker and say, let us know when this truck leaves and where it's going. And then they fucking follow it out to the truck stops. And then they'll steal it from the truck stops as soon as that driver goes in and parks for fuel, or after they fuel up and they park for the night. Then when the driver leaves their truck, they'll fucking steal the truck. They bring it to a warehouse. They offload the truck immediately. And then they have people literally waiting on site to fucking buy this stuff and ship it out. And it's gone before the driver even fucking walks back to realize his truck's been stolen, or his trailer's been vandalized and they've taken all the freight. That product's already fucking sold and gone. All right. Because there's a bunch of local businesses that are out here, all of these small time convenience stores that don't have contracts with all of these major brands, but ironically have store shelves full of them. That's where it all goes and it's gone. Or it's Amazon resellers and shit like that. People can fucking steal stuff, post it up on the internet, and it's sold and gone. All right. So I think like they have to fundamentally look at how these people are actually acting and make, but again, I think like when the crime rings are busted, actually fucking prosecuting these individuals to where it actually deters people from doing it. Because again, it's just going to shift to the next thing and then the next thing, So again, like it's great to see these things, but we need to see actual fucking change out there. And I think it's going to unfortunately cost us more than $2 million in taxpayer funding. Robert Cowton, good morning to you, sir. But yeah, you guys, he's watching over on YouTube as well. Things are starting to pick up here, ladies and gentlemen. I have a really good feeling about the rest of this year. Let me see here. Sage Outcast says, hey now, what's up, man? Sage is watching over on Twitter. All right, you guys, next article that we are going to break down. This one was from ttnews.com. Aurora Innovation and Uber Freight launch driverless program. Premier autonomy program is designed to provide carriers with early path to purchase and onboard autonomous capabilities. I'm going to love to see how they're going to try and market hey, we want to replace you truck drivers with this autonomous stuff, but we're going to give you a way to do it. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. I think autonomous is a fucking joke. All right. I do not want to see them replace the truck drivers at all. All right. I come from a family of truck drivers, as most of you know. I have a ton of fucking respect for the people who drive trucks, and I don't want to see autonomous come in here and replace anybody. Okay. I don't at all. And I haven't read this article, but I'm assuming there's going to be some clever marketing in here to essentially get buy into this. Uber Freight and Aurora Innovation are launching a program aimed at providing carriers with early access to over 1 billion miles of driverless deliveries. I just think it's funny. Here, buy our shit to replace all your employees. Like, I just wish that that's what the marketing would be on this. Aurora Innovation, start marketing like this. Start marketing to truck drivers. and just say, buy our technology to put yourself out of business. All right, just put it out there, please. Called Premier Autonomy. The service is designed to provide carriers with an early and streamlined path to purchase and deploy autonomous capabilities. The company said the initiative, sorry guys, I went to public school. The initiative aims to build utilization of autonomous trucks through integration of the Aurora driverless tech. It's not driver technology, it's driverless technology, because that's what Aurora is here to do, is build technology to replace truck drivers. With the Uber Freight platform, Uber Freight and Aurora sees a tremendous opportunity to pad our own pockets. Sorry, I misread that. Uber Freight and Aurora sees a tremendous opportunity to democratize autonomous trucks for carriers of all sizes, enabling them to drive more revenue to drive more revenue, scale their fleets, and strengthen their bottom lines, said Uber Freight CEO Lior Ron. Autonomous trucks will make goods moving more efficient, and this industry-first program will help facilitate and accelerate the adoption of autonomous trucks with our carriers. They said Uber Freight and Aurora began partnering to pilot autonomous technologies in the beginning of 2020. The Premier Autonomy program builds on insights gained since then regarding the effective and autonomous movement of goods, the company said. Through the program, Aurora is providing early access to autonomous deliveries to participating Uber Freight carriers through 2030. And then we've had a long-time partnership with Uber, said Zach Andrioni, Vice President of Business Development at Aurora. We've hauled our very first commercial trailer with Uber Freight in 2021. So this is a long-standing partnership. And then Aurora said the scale and density of Uber Freight network made it ideal for autonomous truck deployment. It's not a secret that the freight market is in a recession. There's overcapacity, prices are depressed, costs are up, and the promise of AV is to deliver this supercharged asset that can run more efficiently in excess of hours of service, said Andrioni. So it's already a pretty compelling value proposition. With our program, if you're a middle market carrier who's been wondering how you're going to get your hands on it, this is it. Aurora plans to continue moving loads with Uber, and then we're still pursuing our commercial launch and removal of the driver by the end of this year. At least they said the truth out loud. We're looking to remove drivers. So we expect to haul driverless for our customers after that as a third-party carrier. So we'll own assets, we'll operate them for our customers as any third-party carrier would, and the economies will reflect that, but that's a temporary model. Andrioni explained that Aurora's long-term model revolves around carriers purchasing an autonomous vehicle asset from one of its manufacturing partners. That is going to be an interesting experience for carrier. It's not like owning a truck today. So part of the program will ready them for ownership experience, which we expect to take place in 26 or 27, but it's going to take a while for them to get prepared and onboarded. We have to make sure our network is ready. Again, I'm not a fan of this at all. Cool. I'm a fan of new technologies and everything. I'm just not I'm not a fan of it getting to the point of technology replacing human beings on literally fucking everything. Because again, what are we supposed to do? Right? Like, what are we supposed to do if AI fucking does everything, autonomous everything? Are we just supposed to fucking walk around as mindless plebes every fucking day and not have any desire to build and grow and scale anything at all? Like, at what point is too much too much? All right. I will never, ever, ever stand for the removal of truck drivers ever, because I'm from a family of fucking truck drivers. I feel like I'd be spitting on my father's grave if I ever supported anything like this. And I again, it's a free market, capitalism, all of that, but they're not. They're literally sitting here and trying to market again. Aurora Innovations, just come out and say the loud part out loud. Truck drivers, we want to replace you. Okay, we want to remove you from the supply chain. Just come out and fucking say it. All right, because that's what you mean. You can put any fancy marketing shit on there that you're probably paying some fucking consultant 6 figures to do. Donate money to charity on my behalf. I just told you all you need to do for marketing, because just say the fucking truth. All right, you don't give a shit about the people that you're trying to put out of business right now, and that's that. So that article is from ttnews.com. Again, I'm not a fan for it. I'm not going to be a fan of it ever at all under any circumstances. So yeah, Let's see here. Robert Coughton says, remember, there are no problems, just issues or concerns to address. Yeah, I mean that's that's a good point, but I think it's a problem that people are trying to replace humans. Um, again, technology is great, you guys, obviously, but like there's got to be a fucking point here where it's going to go too far. All right, it's going to go too far, and then there's just going to be a bunch of people walking around with no fucking jobs, and that it's just the trickle down effect of a bunch of bullshit. All right, I'm just not going to stand for it at all, especially when it comes to replacing the profession that has literally been in my family for like almost 100 years at this point. So I'm just not going to stand for it at all. Steve Setka, corporate America doesn't value the human over the bottom line. It's always been the case. Yeah, man. I mean, there's definitely corporations out there. I wholeheartedly agree with that. There are definitely corporations out there that only value the bottom line. I believe I'm a capitalist at heart, right? Like I am. I'm a capitalist, but I believe in responsible capitalism. I believe in giving back to others with it in everything else. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna have time to get into the other articles that we got on because I got on a little bit of a soapbox there, and it happens because I fucking hate some of this shit that's out there and being perpetuated. But that will be it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my man Kyle Provost is coming on tomorrow. We talked about freight theft idea, like things to stop right now and today. And then tomorrow, we're going to show you how to properly vet a carrier. Carriers, rest assured, I am going to give you all of the tips and tricks that you need to spot a shitbag broker right away in the booking process and even on the load posting thing. All right, I'm going to fucking put that out there as well. And we're going to help you guys identify this because I really just want to help highlight the right people out there that are doing the right thing across the board because I feel like that is a major deterrent to eliminate a lot of the shady behaviors that goes on is because if we elevate the industry out there, you guys, we're going to elevate the right people, and that's going to help keep the right people successful out there. But as always, you guys, if you guys got value in what you heard, subscribe to the show, share it out there to your network, because if you see value, your network's going to see value as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.